Hey, what's up, everybody? Coming to you with another What's Next this morning, and this one is on former two-time welterweight champion of the world, Shawn Porter, Mr. Showtime. So, Porter returned on Saturday, August 22nd, when he took on undefeated Sebastian Formella, unknown fighter, and scored a one-sided 12-round unanimous decision over Formella. Porter looked good. Porter's not a huge power puncher. He never really was. He's more wear you down type power. So I know a lot of people were expecting a knockout here, as was I. But he really put it on Formella. Formella wasn't a bad fighter either. He's a decent counter puncher and stuff. He just couldn't keep Shawn Porter off of him. So, not a bad performance. I thought he looked pretty solid. And he should be declared the WBC's number one contender now. I mean, without doubt, he should be the mandatory number one contender, which would put him in line for the winner of Errol Spence and Danny Garcia. And to be honest, I think Spence, if we're talking titles, unless Manny Pacquiao wants to fight the winner of that fight, I think Shawn Porter is going to be facing the winner of Errol Spence, Danny Garcia next in a rematch. He's fought both guys. He beat Danny in September of 2018 in a very close fight. He beat Danny then by unanimous decision, and a really good fight too. And then Errol Spence, he fought in September of 2019, where he attempted to unify belts, and he lost a very close split decision. Took a knockdown late in that fight. It was a good close fight though. He showed that he's very good and still very good. And him and Spence went at it. Very close fight right there that he lost. So now Porter's my number 4 welterweight in the world right now. I moved him ahead of Keith Thurman. And, the next for him, it should be the winner of this fight, between Spence and Garcia. And the reason why I think that fight's going to happen next is because the winner of Spence and Garcia, remember there's 2 belts on the line. Errol Spence has the WBC belt that he took from Porter, and he has the IBF title that he originally won from Kell Brook a few years ago. So here's what's going on with those 2 belts now. The winner of this fight basically is going to have 2 mandatories due at the same time. And the winner of this fight is going to have to fight one of the mandatories. Now here's going to be the 2 mandatories. One is Shawn Porter, who just locked it up, and the other one is going to be the winner of Sergey Lipinets and some undefeated Russian fighter named Kuchertillo something. He's got a fucked up name. But the winner of that fight is for the IBF interim welterweight title. That's on October 10th of this year. So if Shawn Porter, it's really going to come down to who Danny and Errol Spence want to fight between those two opponents. Now, given the IBF and their history, the IBF is big on this right here. The IBF is very big on doing, on making their mandatories. If they're the interim champion, they get a direct shot. They're next. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. And if the champion declines, then that guy becomes the champion. So there's that. Then Shawn Porter is right there. The WBC is going to expect that fight right there. I think Errol Spence and Danny Garcia, the winner of that, is going to choose Shawn Porter in a rematch because it's a big fight. To fight Lipinets or the other fighter, the other undefeated fighter, it wouldn't bring much to the table for really the winner there. It really wouldn't, because that's a low-level name right there. So unless Manny Pacquiao comes out of nowhere and wants to fight the winner of Errol Spence and Danny Garcia, which is possible, we could be seeing those 2 guys lock horns for the we probably will see Porter fight the winner of that fight, because if Spence and Garcia is going to give up one of the belts, they're going to do that to fight the bigger name, which is Shawn Porter. They're not going to give up both belts unless a Manny Pacquiao fight is on the line, because Pacquiao has a title belt as well. That's the only way I see both belts being given up. So the winner is going to have to make a choice, either Shawn Porter or the winner of Sergey Lipinets and that undefeated Russian fighter, which I think is going to be Lipinets, the former 140-pound champ. So, I would be surprised if they overlook Porter, and they probably would have to give up the WBC belt in order to go after one of the Russians, and I just don't see that happening. So, I really think what's next for Shawn Porter is the winner of Errol Spence and Danny Garcia, and that's huge right there, because Porter is a great fighter, and I can't wait to see it. So I'm really not factoring in and looking at anything else. That should be what's next. That's what I believe is going to be what's next. I don't think Pacquiao wants anything to do with Porter. Maybe if for some reason Porter doesn't get that and the vacant title becomes on the line, maybe he fights Keith Thurman next. If Thurman lines himself up and wants to go after the WBC belt again. Other guys, maybe Mikey Garcia, but it depends on what opens up, and what's available. So we'll see. But I believe it's the winner of Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, for Showtime Shawn Porter. All right, guys, that's the what's next. Hope you enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.